If you dream of clean, natural nails, but your own nails keep breaking, peeling, or simply won't grow, you're not alone. That's why I would like to show you how to create soft, natural-looking soap nails. But I know that some people do not trust gel manicures because of potential allergic reactions. I'm going to use Ezmio Beauty Color Builder Gels that are HEMA-free and 12-free, and they allow you to create strong, natural-looking overlay while keeping your nails safe. Let's unpack these new shades. I have 6 color builder gels, and yes, I am excited because I am familiar with this brand. I already tried their builder gels. They're amazing. I love their consistency, and I'm just curious what these shades are going to look like. So they have medium thick consistency, and you can use them in different ways. One of which is simply applying a thin coat, so you can use it as semi-transparent color. Another option is to use them as builder gel, so you can apply more product to build the apex to create an awesome overlays. And we have some transparent colors, milky one, and some of the darker nude and pink shades. Some of my clients are going to be crazy about these colors because I have a few who are simply fans of natural looking pink and nude nails, and they're always excited whenever I get a new nude shades. But first we need to start with the prep, so we remove the old product with ceramic bead. Then I'm going to push back the cuticles with orange wood stick. This client has beautiful natural nails, but she really wanted to switch to square and short nails. She shared that once they grow to this length, they look amazing, but they don't feel as comfortable anymore, so she just wants to do something more natural. So then we need to do dry manicure. I prefer doing it with electric nail file, so I'm going to use a diamond flame shaped bit with red abrasive mark. The speed is about 17,000 rotations per minute. Make sure that you push back the cuticles, that you clean the side grooves, because nail prep is super important. Even if your application is flawless and on point, but you didn't clean those cuticles very well from the nail plate, the product is going to lift. So please make sure that you do all the nail prep thoroughly. So then I proceed cleaning the opposite side, and I also clean the side grooves. Since we're switching to square shape and to shorter version of these nails, I'm going to file them shorter. But here's a little secret and trick I'm going to show you today. Do not file them all the way down yet. So I'm leaving them slightly longer than she wanted to, because of this little trick I'm going to do later. Keep in mind that this is super common when we have different lengths of the nail bed. So when you compare the nails, you need to look not only to this white part of the free edge, but to the entire nail from cuticle to the free edge, and they're supposed to match one hand as well as the other. So right now I'm just filing down the extra length so they won't be like extra long, and measure them just to make sure that they're not too different with the opposite hand. After filing and shaping, we're going to use a soft 220 grit buffer to buff the surface. And I noticed that almost everyone is using buffer in the center, but it's very important to also remove that surface shine from the corners along the sidewalls. And if we're working with the nails like this that are not extremely short, it is also very important to make this free edge super soft and smooth, because after filing and shaping with a regular nail file, the edge is not going to be even. So you need to take this buffer and make sure that you remove all this residue under the nail. Because what is the place where all the dirt goes? Right, it's under the nails. That's why it's so important to clean it properly. After doing manicure and cuticle care, sometimes I also use this buffing bit to make sure that we remove all these small hangnails, all the dry skin, so it will look soft and super smooth. But this buffing bit is very soft. Like if you have some serious hangnails, it's not strong enough to remove them. So this is only for the very, very light touch. When we are done, we need to clean all the dust. You can use a special wipes or we can wash the hands. Then we need to apply Dehydrator. And once again, a very important step when we have some free edge of the nails, you need to apply it underneath. However, I do not recommend using the brush from the bottle because we can take a little bit of this dust residue and put it back into the bottle. So to avoid contamination, I recommend you to take a lint-free wipe, and you can use alcohol or Dehydrator and clean the inner part of the nail plate too. Finally, when the nails are clean, we can apply 2-in-1 base coat. It has medium consistency, so you can actually apply it to a few nails at once and then cure them in LED for 1 minute. Just make sure that you do not apply too much and you're not touching the surrounding skin. Next up will be builder gel, and we decided to try 2 colors. First one is called Barbara. It's beautiful light pink color. I'm going to apply a thin coat first that is also called wet floor. So you apply this coat, make sure that you cover the nail, make sure you're not touching the skin. If you do, then you can clean it. And by the way, the consistency of these Ezmio builder gels is just so amazing, so convenient. You literally have some extra time to apply it and not worry that it's going to flood the sidewalls or the cuticles right away. So after applying this wet floor, do not cure. Take more product on the brush and with the floating printing technique, apply a little more. Since we're leaving short nails, you do not need too much product. You just need to have a medium-sized drop. Apply a little bit to the cuticle, and then if you hold your client's finger that it's pointing downwards, it is actually going to help you to apply it properly. Do not apply too much to the sidewalls or to the cuticle area. Majority of the product should stay in the center. Also, avoid applying too much on the free edge because we definitely do not want these bulky looking nails. And if you notice that there's not enough product in the corner or along the sidewall, you can use a detailer brush and redirect it before curing in the lamp. If for some reason it's taking you too long to apply the product, which happens, then you can turn the client hand around, wait for a few seconds, turn it back, make sure everything is on point, and cure. They also have such a cool flash cure lamp that you can use, so once you realize that your application is on point, then you can flash cure for 3 to 5 seconds. Usually it's enough to make sure that the product is going to stay in place, and then fully cure it in the big lamp. Do not forget to do that because flash curing is not enough. We also need to fully cure it for 2 minutes. Since this gel has such a nice pink color, you can always tell if the product is missing somewhere. So make sure you check the corners, you check the sidewalls. On the other hand, we are going to use a different shade, which is more transparent and for some reason reminds me of strawberry syrup. And at first we were a little worried because if you look at her nails, we can see some white spots, we can even see some red spots. So are they going to stay visible? So normally when you have nails like this, you always want to cover them up. However, this color has a little shade, so her nails are still going to have this natural look, and this little pink shade is actually going to hide all these imperfections. And the best part about these gels, even though I applied them rather thick, they were not burning, which for me is a sign of a great product. I'm applying them in the exact same way using the wet floor and floating application technique. First I apply one coat, I do not cure it, and then I apply the second one. Do not rush because with the first coat, your goal is to create a frame. So we are applying the product whenever you want it to be, which is the entire nail. Make sure you're not missing some spots because if you you do, let's say you miss the whole corner, then with the next coat, it may simply not go there. And with the second coat, we finally build the structure. Then we need to seal it with the glossy top coat, but that's not everything. I know that usually this is the end, but I would like to show you a little trick on how to make your natural looking overlay last longer and look even more natural. We're going to make this shape more square and more sharp with 180 grit file, and yes, do not worry, it's absolutely safe and they are going to last. That's why I told you at the beginning to leave a little extra length, so we will have this room to make them even shorter. Once you do that, make sure that you remove all this residue after shaping them and remove the dust. I'm going to do that on both hands, and once you do that, I'm also going to take a carbide bit and file natural nail underneath, but I'm not going to file off the entire nail. We're keeping that. I'm just going to make it slightly shorter, so the very edge of our overlay is going to be product only. That way we will be 100% sure that the overlay is sealed, and also they are going to look super thin and natural looking, so no one will be able to tell that these are actually not her natural nails. Wow, I love this natural looking clean look. Let me guys know, what do you think? Which version do you like the most? The one with transparent pink that looks almost like natural nails, or the one with more intense pink color? I will leave all the links to the products that I used in this video in the description box as usual. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!